Welcome back to Mushoku Tensei, Anime Review, episode number 33. Here reviewing the final episode of Core 1 for Season 2 of Mushoku Tensei. I want to tell you, which, despite what the Wiki site says, it adapts from the rest of chapter number 10. It does adapt from chapter 11, and a little bit from chapter from the side story side story Selfie 0, and it basically in a way starts adapting from this very book 10, but adapts the last quarter of chapter 1. They skip almost the entire chapter for this episode. So we pick up right where we left off last episode, where Selfie tells Rudy that that she loves him, and he basically responds that he feels the same way. And then, of course, seems like they're about to do it, and he realizes, oh crap, basically his little Rudy is not working, and of course he tells what's going on. It's like, he agrees to be together, and then, of course, they walk back, and of course, Selfie, of course, tells Princess Ariel what happened, and of course, Luke comes to the ingenious idea. I know a way to cure that. Let me go get it. And what does he get? An aphrodisiac. Which when Rudy sees this, and it's been confirmed in the book, it's in the book itself, this is the same one he saw back in book 2. I should point out this happens in book 9. Of course, gonna get something like a drink. Then, of course, basically they drink the night way, and then Rudy drinks the aphrodisiac, and then he proceeds to have sex with Selfie. Off screen, mind you, because, well, they want to show it. Yep. Then, of course, the very next morning, he wakes up, and apparently he's wearing underwear. I'm like, I would have thought, though, he would have gone something else, but... And, like, oh, crap. And, of course, basically, he sees Selfie, and he basically hugs her and crying. Of course, he is so happy he's been cured of his impotence. So then, basically, they roll the credits, and then here's the thing. Now, there's a bunch of that happens afterwards, and, of course, Nobi himself is briefly seen in the episode. If you're curious, they cut anything from what they adapted... a little bit, not much. He's there for a quick cameo, and that's it. So then, of course, he sees Ariel introduce himself properly, and he tells her basically... Now, there's a lot of this conversation is cut out here. Selfie's dialogue has mostly been excised from the scene. So, he tells her basically that, well, he's been cured, and of course, he thanks her for helping her out. And, of course, basically, he has a desire to look for people more at the mass teleportation incident, and... where, like, he owes sister, but he's not committing political stuff. Now, there's a little bit stuff with the astronaut, but it was more than the family itself. Yeah, he basically did stuff from that, so a little bit dialogue exercised here, but mostly just trying to screech him out here. And, of course, that's what we want to do. We want to do a Selfie. And he says, I will marry her. And that shocks Selfie, the fact he wants to, because they just slept together the night before, and now basically he wants to marry her because he basically did it with her. So he's like, and then Ariel's like, Selfie Garrett, congratulations. And then just push her right to Rudius. And then, of course, basically they agreed to get married. And, well, very much a happy ending. Yep, if you're curious, is there a proper wedding for them in the book? Not necessarily. The wedding it's strange here, where Selfie is not like a wedding dress per se. It's most supposed to fill out some paperwork to acknowledge the fact they're married and have a party. They had this in Book 10. So, I'm sure this part going to be in. Because basically, Book 10 is quite interesting because, like, right after they get married, this is how Rudius and Selfie get their house that they still have by Book 23. Yep, this is the start of that. So, this is an absolute really good episode. Yes, I do acknowledge the fact that Selfie's dialogue was... I'd say part of it was stuck cut from the last scene, but it was still a really good scene. Got to the point there. Oh, from the previous scene where we're looking now, it's like he's not attracted to her, which that's quite obvious. But he acknowledges her as a friend. Yeah, but this was a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think basically they kept it where they're supposed to. I think dialogue cut was fine. I don't think it really hurt the episode per se. But I do look forward to basically when they adapt the opening portion, the rest of chapter 1, which they're probably going to adapt basically when the series comes back in April. So this will be the last review I'll do for now until April when it comes to Mushoku Tensei. Now, next month will be the release of the third to last book of the series. And I believe next year is when they release the final book. Let me take a look at that just to be sure.